Hello and welcome back to the Quasar equation. Today we're diving into the topic of reflections for the GCSE AQA Maths exam. We'll explore the key concepts and rules and examples you need to succeed. Whether you're revising or learning this for the first time, this video will give you a clear understanding. Learning objectives. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to understand what a reflection is in geometry, identify the line of reflection in 2D shapes, reflect shapes accurately over the x-axis, y-axis or other given lines, use coordinates to describe reflected shapes, and recognize properties of reflected shapes, congruence and orientation. To reflect a shape, you draw its mirror image. To describe a reflection, you just need to find the equation of the mirror line. So what is a reflection? A reflection is a type of transformation that flips a shape over a line known as the mirror line, creating a mirror image. A tip would be mirror lines of the form x equals a are vertical and mirror lines of the form y equals a are horizontal. As you can see in this GIF, ABC, the image triangle, is being reflected to BAC on the other side, and the y-axis is being used as the mirror line. Example questions. Let's do a worked example together. Suppose we have a triangle with points A, 2, 3, and B, 4, 5, and C, 3, 1, and we want to reflect it over to the y-axis. The first thing we would do is apply the rule x to y is equal to x to minus y. And we would, for point A, it would be 2 to 3, which would become 2 to minus 3. For point B, it would be 4 to 5, which would become 4 to minus 5. And for point C, it would finally become 3 to 1 to 3 to minus 1. Now the second step is to plot the reflected points on the grid. Notice how each point is the same from the distance from the x-axis as the original, but on the opposite side. That is reflection. To reflect the shape, you draw its mirror image. First, reflect the vertices of the shape in the lines of symmetry, also known as the mirror line. The reflected points, called the image points, should be the same distance from the line as the original points but on the other side of it. Then join up the image points to create the reflected shape. The reflected shape will be the same size and shape as the original, so the shapes are congruent. A reflection in the y-axis will send a point x to y to minus x to y. A reflection of the x-axis will send a point x to y to x to minus y. To describe a reflection, you just need to find the equation of the mirror line. In this image, shape DABC is being reflected, and the purple line, dotted line, is the mirror line to form the new image, which is the new shape but opposite. How to draw reflections. To reflect the shape ABCDE in the y-axis, by the way, this is an example, label the image points A, B, C, D, and E with their coordinates. Here is the y-axis in the mirror line. Each image point should be the same distance from the y-axis as the original point. For example, C is 2 units to the left of the y-axis, so its image C should be the 2 units to the right of the y-axis. 3. Write down the coordinates of each image point. Each point xy becomes minus x to y. The mirror line isn't always one of these axes or a parallel line to an axis. It could be a diagonal line, such as y equals x or y equals minus x. A reflection in y equals x, x equals y to yx. 2. A reflection in y equals minus x sends x to y to minus x. Follow the same method as before, reflecting each vertex and then joining up the image points. Make sure the image points are the same distance from the mirror line as the original ones. You measure this distance perpendicular to the mirror line. Thank you for watching the Quasar equation. Please remember to subscribe, and thank you for watching. Bye bye everyone.